Hi everybody, welcome back to Arma 3. Welcome to the SOG Prairie Fire DLC, although that isn't that important. But in this video, I wanted to share the mod that I use right now to, I think, make the single player campaigns much more enjoyable for things like Prairie Fire and the other C DLC and other missions and other stuff like that. So let's have a look at the mods that I use so that you can download them if you want to too. Now the first one, the crux of the matter, is the amazing SOG AI mod by Johnny Boy. This is more than just a command wheel. This is a rewriting of the scripts that control the AI in Arma 3. And Johnny Boy has done an awful lot of work to make these scripts compatible with lots of different missions within Arma 3, whether that be the vanilla missions that come with the game, other missions that people have created in the workshop, the Prairie Fire missions, the Western Sahara missions, the global mobilization missions, all that sort of stuff. And it speeds up the AI so that they can move from objective to objective faster. They can make contact and engage enemies in a more immersive manner. They can break contact in a more immersive manner as well. They can do all sorts of cool stuff, and it's highly recommended. It's transformed the way I play Arma 3, because I found it quite difficult to play Arma 3 solo before, because you couldn't really play like the Prairie Fire missions solo, because you'd always end up getting killed, and if you tried to use the vanilla AI, it was just too difficult. But with SOG AI, it is much easier. Now, I'm not saying there aren't some glitches, there definitely are, but it's much better than the vanilla stuff, and very immersive, and it does lots of other things as well. It gives you the option of spawning in different squads of soldiers for different missions, anyway, download it, give it a go, and you will see there. Now the simple single player cheat menu. Let's go into it here. So if we press M to go into menu. Now you may be saying, what cheats? Why cheats, Rob? And the reason for this is that when you're playing certain scenarios, in fact quite a few of the scenarios, single player scenarios, even when you're playing with like SOG AI, often there'll be a part of the mission or a part of the scenario that's very difficult to do when you're by yourself. So an example for this would be with the Prairie Fire missions, will be the Bright Light mission, when you have to go into the tunnels to rescue the helicopter guy. And if you're by yourself, that is incredibly difficult and incredibly frustrating. So I don't think there's anything wrong with just turning on invincibility for that section. So you go in and you can still get killed by booby traps, and you can get the guy and you can take him out, and then you can turn off invincibility, and then you can crack on. Similarly, sometimes Arma 3, Arma in general, can be very clunky, and you may well get to an objective and you have to do something. An example of this would be Prairie Fire again, say the Eldest Son mission, where you have to place the spiked ammo in the ammo piles, and you'll get there and you'll be like, why isn't this working? And you're trying to figure out what you're meant to be doing, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that point, turning on invincibility for yourself and your group members as well, so you can figure out what you're meant to be doing, do that little objective, turn invincibility off, and crack on. And it's great for the mucking around as well and trying things out. Next up, we have Web Knights 2 Primary Weapons mod that works hand in hand with CBA3. That's a dependency for it. And this basically enables you to do this sort of thing. So my soldier here, they're all in a line. Come on, lads, let's attack in a line. How about a file? Should we get in a file? Are you going to come behind me then? No, maybe not. So as you can see, my soldier's got an M16. And I've also got a car. I think this is a car 98. Let's have a look at my inventory. What have I got? That is, sorry, it's an M1903 with an 8x optic. And for me, again, this transformed the way really that I play Prairie Fire, because in Prairie Fire you're fighting with 60s weapons, 1950 weapons, 1940s weapons as well, and the problem is that you really need a close range weapon, say something like an assault rifle or an SMG, and a distance weapon, and because you don't have things like optics that have got like a red dot and a 4 times on at the same time that you can switch between, like you can with the more modern weapons. You really need the ability to switch weapons, and that's what this mod gives you. And it's quite clever the way it works, and I haven't come into any problems with it. I understand there may be some problems in situations where you respawn, where the weapon might disappear. But remember, if you've got a single player cheat menu, you can just fire up Zeus and the virtual arsenal and add it as well. And generally what I will do is, if I'm spawning into a Prairie Fire mission, for example, I will run something like an SMG, like a Thompson or a Sten or a silent Swedish K, and then I'll have an M16 or something like that with a scope on it for engaging enemies at medium to far distance, and I'll have my suppressed SMG for engaging enemies at closer distance, and that really does work very, very well indeed. And then the final mod, and remember, I'll put links to all of these mods in the description below this video, is automatic view distance. I'm pretty sure this mod has helped me have a better experience with Arma 3 for just having a more consistent frame rate, to avoiding lots of glitches and making the game much, much smoother and much, much more playable. And it just looks good. I mean, I run with things like bloom and radial blare and all those things that you should, people say you should really turn off, but I don't. And I think that automatic frame rate, what it does is it adjusts your view distance to hit your target frame rate. My target frame rate is always 60 frames a second. I think if a game can run at 60 frames a second, I am happy. In fact, if it can run between sort of 40 and 50 frames a second, I'm pretty happy with that way as well. Right, lads, how are we doing? We're having a good time, are we? So there we go. They're the mods that I run to make solo, single-player, lone wolf Arma 3 more playable. SOG AI, so I can spawn in teammates who are effective, yeah, I mean, they're great. They'll revive you and treat your wounds if you get wounded. The simple single-player cheat menu to get myself out of trouble. Weapon Knight's 2 primary weapons, which you need CBA_3 for, and finally automatic view distance. Because I'm also a believer of not going mad with mods and not putting too much, because the more mods you add to your game, the worse it will run. But what do you think? Are there some mods I'm missing out on that I should run with that would make my experience better in Arma? I don't know, but if you know some, or if you've got any hints and tips, please put them in the comment section below the video. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.